What's going on, Moss Point? Thank you for joining us again for another episode of the River City Chat. I'm Jaylon Morris here with the man himself, Mayor Billy Knight. What's going on, man?
Absolutely, I'm here, Jaylon. It's good to see you, my brother.
Always a pleasure, man. Like you was talking about before, it's been a while since I've seen you, man. I gotta get back around in Moss Point.
Jaylon, you know, Paige got you locked down.
Been working hard,
you
man.
You can't get out of that office and they come out here to visit me like you used to, man. I miss it, so we got to talk to Paige about that.
That's for
sure. Got to free you up, man, so you can get out of there, man.
How are you doing? How you holding up?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. God is still blessing me, man. Jaylon, I don't have no complaints, man. You know, I get tired like everybody else, but you know, you try to get your rest and and come out the next day swinging, you know.
Right.
And that's what I'm doing, man. And things are going well here in the city. You know, people can see that we're all making some progress, and you know, it's slow, but you know, I'm asking all our people just to be patient with us.
Yeah.
Just know that you know, I'm here every day working, trying to make it happen, and eventually they're gonna start seeing things happening little by little, and you know, over time, I think we're all gonna be proud of where we are. You know, so things are going well.
That's good. That's good. And before I forget, we appreciate y'all for tuning in. But anytime you have any questions or comments or anything that you want us to discuss, please feel free. I'll drop the email address below. You can email us, or you can even comment on Facebook about what you want us to talk about and things like that. It's important because we want to hear your feedback. We do it for y'all anyway. So
it's all about information, man. You know, what we do this, we're not doing this just because, you know, we enjoy doing this show. We do enjoy doing it, but it's not for that reason alone. It's because we're trying to inform you, you know, on a regular basis, and now we're doing it twice a month, you know. But we're trying to inform you as to what's going on in the city, and we hope that you're passing the word on, and we're sharing, you know, this podcast with other friends and telling them about it, so that they could be informed, because there's so much misinformation out there, and it doesn't take much. You know, this Facebook thing is a dangerous situation, you know, because there's so much misinformation, you know, out there on Facebook, and I do these programs to try to inform you, to give you the correct information based on what we're trying to do here in the city. And I hope that you would take that, you know, in good faith and share it with other people, and know that, you know, we're not going to be lying to you about what we're doing, but we're trying to be as transparent as we can and tell you what we can. You know, there are some things we can't share at times, but there are other times that we must share it. So, you know, we want you to know that, and that's what it's all about, is informing you and keep you up on what's going on.
That's right. So let's get into it, Mayor. We can start, of course, February is Black History Month, right? And what's understood doesn't necessarily have to be explained, but it is Black History Month, and it's something that we have to take pride
you know,
in.
we just have to remind people of the importance of that, you know.
Yeah.
This is a brainchild of Carter G. Woodson back in 1976 is when it was started, and you know, the whole idea was that, and it was also called African American Month, and the whole idea was to just try to keep Black folks reminded of what we had gone through, and the theme this year is resistance. You know, it's too bad that we still got to be feeling we got to resist, you know, this racism thing, but in reality, you know, we still have to resist it. So we have to be mindful of that. And what I would encourage our people to do, Black and white, is to educate our children about Black history, so that we all will know what happened during that time in the past when it was so dangerous and bad for all of us. We have just got to keep educating our kids about that. So I would encourage, during this Black History Month, try to read at least one book about Black history to your child, so that they would always be aware of what's going on, you know. And the thing that I always like to emphasize, and also in reference to Martin Luther King Day, is that we should not just celebrate these things at the time that is designated.
Just for 1 month, yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
You know, Martin Luther King is, you know, January the 16th, and you know, and you know, we celebrated that one day, and then we don't hear about it anymore until next year.
Right.
You know, Black History Month, we celebrated for the month of February, and we don't hear about it anymore.
Yep.
No, I'm encouraging our people that if you believe in the dream of Martin Luther King, then you ought to be trying to keep that dream alive every day. You ought to be talking about him every day and what he meant to this country. If you believe and concerned about Black history, then you need to make sure that you're talking to your children about it every day. The importance of Black history, reading a book, letting them understand and know and learn about Black history. If you believe in it, then that's what you should be doing. You shouldn't be waiting to the month that is designated to be involved in these things.
Yeah, I agree, Mayor.
Mardi Gras?
I was just about to say, we're kicking the things off and we're hitting the ground running this year already.
That's right. Mardi Gras is also in February, you know, and ending with Lent. And then, you know, we don't have Mardi Gras parade here in Moss Point, but, you know, that's something I'm gonna throw out to our Main Street Association for next year to see if they can work with our Parks and Rec and maybe start a Moss Point parade. I mean, it's a challenge, and most cities have a parade because they have carnival clubs that sponsor those things, and we don't have that in Moss Point. So I got to think about how we can do that, or let them help me think about how to do that if we can at all. But I've had people ask, why do you don't have a parade?
Yeah.
And we just don't have the infrastructure. Infrastructure meaning people and organizations to do that.
Right.
But we're going to think about that next year. But this is Mardi Gras season, and all I can say about that is enjoy it and be careful out there, because there's some mighty big floats sometime out there. Got to take care of your kids. Don't let them get in the way to getting run over by those floats. But it's Mardi Gras season. Enjoy it and have a good time.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And I think the people of Moss Point would love to have a parade of their own to come out and support it and have a good time. I've seen them come out for homecoming, so right. I know they come out for a Moss Point parade.
Exactly.
I know they would.
Moss Point people love to have a good time.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's something we can organize, and we're gonna start now thinking about that and talking to the groups about it to see if within a year's time we cannot organize that.
Yeah,
and
I think that's.
See if we can happen. My whole thing about all this is that if other cities are doing it for their people,
why can't us, or why can't we?
Why can't we be doing it for our people?
Right.
You know what I mean? If they're doing, why should our people have to go and celebrate somewhere else?
When they want to do it in their own backyard.
We can do it right in our own backyard.
Yep.
So that's the whole idea about everything, you know?
Yeah, I think that's something we can definitely add to the list as we continue to move forward, Mayor. Around this time, too, I know there's usually a can drive that takes place with all of the cities on the coast and all of the mayors coming together and putting this can drive together and things like that. So you want to talk about that for a second?
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Jaylon. That's always, every year.
Yeah.
You know, it's, I don't know how far to go back, but since I've been here, the Gulf Coast have organized what they call a March of the Mayors. And what that is about is the table pantry that represent the Gulf Coast have a food drive every year for 4 weeks to start on the, I think it's the February 24th through March 24th. And they ask every city mayor to raise a certain type of food. And Moss Point and Ocean Spring have been asked to raise, to get canned food, canned fruit. Canned fruit is what Ocean Spring and Moss Point is asked to raise. We're in competition with Ocean Spring. We want to be able to get 2,500 cans. 2,500 cans is what our goal is. We want 3,000. We want 3,000 cans of any size, fruit. Only fruit is what we're supposed to raise. And you can drop them off at City Hall, all of our fire stations, and Piggly Wiggly. Piggly Wiggly, you know, is in North Moss Point. That's what I call Escatawba, is North Moss Point. Piggly Wiggly got to drop off. All of our fire stations got drop-off boxes, and City Hall has a drop-off box. So any size fruit, go out there and get 1 or 2 cans, drop it off at those locations. Our goal is 3,000. We got to beat Ocean Spring. We got to beat Ocean Springs. So let's do it, folks. I know Moss Point can do it, and it's for all the Gulf Coast. The pantry that benefits in our area is our daily bread. The food that comes to Jackson County is given to our daily bread out of all this food raising. So we want you to get involved and help us because our daily bread will benefit from this. So we want you to get out and help us with that. So it's going to go from February 24th through March 24th. Any size canned fruit. Drop it off at Piggly Wiggly, North Moss Point, all of our fire stations, and here at City Hall. Depending on your Moss Point, let's beat Ocean Spring.
And they've donated in the past.
That's
and
right.
Over the recent bike giveaway and things like
That's
that,
right.
we've seen
Yeah.
people donate.
Oh, yeah, we know they can do it.
Yeah, they definitely have the ability to do
we know
it.
we can do it. I mean, this is nothing like the bicycle thing.
Right.
It was much more expensive a bicycle. You guys stepped up to the plate. You gave me more than we asked for. So I know we can do this with a can good.
Yeah.
So everybody can go out there and buy at least one can, but I'm asking you to buy at least two of any size. Let's drop it off here at City Hall, Fire Station, Piggly Wiggly, and let's outdo Ocean Spring.
Mayor, let's transition over to the public hearings. I know we talked about it in the last podcast. How did that go, and what did you see? What was the overall turnout for that, and what did you see? What did you?
I am excited about that, man. This is the first opportunity. This is the first opportunity that Moss Point have had to really make a difference in our flooding situation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there is money that's designated just for our zip code, 39563. And we're going to get almost $14 million to start trying to correct the flooding in our area.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
It's big.
So we had two public hearings, the 23rd, and we had one on the 30th. And we had a good turnout from the people came out, and the whole idea for the public hearing was to get feedback from the citizen. And we wanted them to tell the people in Jackson that's managing this money where their flooding problems are. They brought us videos to show us the flooding, the water got into the house, their furniture's up on blocks. You know, I want to help get that done, get this furniture off the blocks and water going into people's house.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take much rain for that to happen in our city now. We got to correct that. So to get this amount of money, even though with all the problem we got with flooding, it's not a whole lot of money,
Right.
but it's a start. It is more money than we ever got in one time to deal with anything in Moss Point. So we got right at $14 million that we're going to start dealing with this flooding. Now, again, I'm asking people to be patient because from the public hearing, we took those comments from the people, and when that's going to help us develop an action plan. We have to have a plan on how we're going to attack this problem. So from that meeting, we got the comments, we developed a plan for exactly what we're going to do, when we're going to start, how the work is going to be done. And once we put all that together, you know, then we begin to work.
Good.
So thank all the people for coming out. Thank them, all of you, for your comments. You know, we're beginning to put the plan together. Once we get the plan together, there'll be another public hearing to let the people know, okay, this is the plan, this is what it looked like. Okay, give us your feedback again. We'll make adjustment in the plan. Then HUD will approve that plan. And once HUD approves the plan, then we can go to work.
That's good.
That is the process. So it does take time to get all that done. But ladies and gentlemen, that's the process when you're dealing with government money. That's the process that you have to go through. But just know in the end, you're going to be able to deal with these problems of flooding.
It's a start. You got to start somewhere.
And little by little, we're going to solve this problem.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
Yes, sir. Mayor, I know also in the last podcast, we brought up goals for this year, right? And one of your big goals were for people to start seeing things happening downtown as far as economic development and things like that. Are there any updates that you would like to share for us, or any comments or thoughts overall on what's been happening so far?
Yeah, absolutely, Jaylon. You know, I talk about I was excited about the opportunity for the flooding money that we're going to get, but I am as equally excited about our economic process and the progress that we're making so far. Even though it's not as fast as I would want it to be, but everything takes time.
Yeah.
But Jaylon, you know, when I ran, it was about public safety, recreation, tied to public safety, and economic development. Now, with the public safety side, Jaylon, I'm almost scared to talk about this. Let me knock on wood. We have not had a shooting in Moss Point in almost 4 months.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
But all of our sister cities around us are still having some real major issue with that, and we pray for them and their families over there, and hope in these cities, and hope that that will subside at some point. But in Moss Point, we are fortunate that because of our communities policing that have increased.
Yeah.
I think the public is buying into that. The police department is buying into that. And so our community right now has been pretty safe. We got to keep that going. So public safety and recreation was one of the platforms, and economic development was the other one. So now with economic development, and then, there's some things, we just announced where Chevrolet and Dodge, Jeep has broken ground out at on 63, and they're clearing the land right now to build their facility, and they're hoping to be in it by the spring. That's a big deal for us.
Oh yeah.
That means that we'll have 4 car dealerships out there, and there's a possibility of 2 more dealerships coming out there. There are other businesses that's going to be coming out there that potentially are going to be announcing pretty soon. Arby's is already up and pretty much ready to go. They think they'll be in business before the end of by the end of the month. And so things are growing, and we need that so bad, Jaylon, because the reason I've been pushing economic development is because it helps bring revenue into the city, into our general fund, to fund the kind of services that we need to provide for our people. We do not have the resources now in our general fund to provide the kind of services that we need for our people. And the only way to get that is through economic development. Okay? Right now, our people are paying too many taxes to help us run this city, simply because we don't have enough economic development. When we lost all our industry with International Paper and Thicol, Halter Marine,
Right.
the small boat yards, when we lost all that, that tax money left. And so we have to make that up some kind of way. And how you make it up? You can only make it up now from the people that are here. We want to try to relieve the people from that. And the only way we can relieve it is that we got to bring, more small industry in here, more retail sales in here.
Right.
And that's through what they call economic development. And so that's why I'm excited about it, because of the dealerships coming. We hope to have a couple more. The other businesses are talking about coming. And on February the 9th, we're going to have a public hearing on our downtown development. People need to come so they can see what we're recommending our downtown development look like. And once we get that plan approved by the board, then developers will start looking at what downtown, where they want to buy, where they want to locate, those kind of things. And that would be development downtown. So we're developing out on I-10 and 63. We're also going to develop downtown and take advantage of our beautiful waterfront.
Oh yeah.
Jaylon, that's where we are, man. I'm excited about it all. I'm happy to be in this position to help drive this process and
Right.
and kind of make suggestions and provide the leadership. I'm fortunate that I'm in this position to help drive all that right now.
And it can only continue to grow and get better from here, man.
I'm looking forward, Jaylon. That's what we got to keep going. We got to keep moving. And whoever come behind me, I just hope they just keep this ball rolling, man, and make it even better. That's the whole idea, is that we set a foundation, we get things started. Whoever come behind me, hopefully they just build on that,
Right.
and just continue to make it better.
I agree. Well said, Mayor.
Yep.
I think that's another one in the can for us, man.
Jaylon.
I think we've been at it for at least a year now, a little
been
over a
long,
year.
I wonder how long.
I think so. I'd have to look at the numbers to see how many episodes that we've done. But if we were doing them once a month, and now we're moved on to twice a month.
Right.
We've been at it for I know at least a little over a year.
Well, Jaylon, look, man, I think I appreciate you and the page for helping us get this done.
Yeah,
And
no problem.
Chamber of Commerce has always been there for us, and Jaylon, as you know, worked for the Chamber, and we appreciate y'all doing this because, again, it's about informing the people about what we're trying to do here in Moss Point, and they're getting it from, like they say, from the horse's mouth. When you talk to the mayor, you're getting it from the mayor, and we're trying to make sure you're aware of what's going on at all times. please give us a call if you need it. Email us if you want us to talk about a particular subject. If you got any questions, please don't hesitate to give us a call. Jaylon, appreciate you, man.
Oh, man, you know, it's always a pleasure. It gives me an excuse to get out the office and come see my guy.
Exactly. We
Come
might
see
need to
my
do
man.
this thing 3 times a
I
month.
know, just to keep up with each other. With that being said, y'all have a good day.
Yeah, have a good day.